Welcome to 13 hour times 62 Lego set reviews. Today we have Target Practice. This is set number 70101, ages 7 to 12. This is from Chima. This is actually my first Speedor's review, and actually my third of Chima, but that doesn't matter right now. We get Equala. This is number 4 of the Speedor sets. 101 pieces and retails for $15. The Speedor sets are usually $15, despite their price per piece, probably because they have to make special materials such as the Speedors themselves and the ripcords that go with them. There's a lot of new elements in Chima as it is, so that could also be a little bit of a reason for the raised price. Let's take a look at this set now. So first off, we have the box art, which you know is very different from regular Lego sets. This is the way it's packaged, similar to the way there were different packagings for the spinners in Ninjago. So in this section is where the Speedor would usually sit. The cards would be up here with the ripcord, and all the pieces would be in this section, and the instructions. So first we'll take a look at, there's a number on this side, which I thought was interesting. Probably the number for the Speedor sets, like this is the 4th one made. You also get, it says Speedors on that side. It has all the information here, some larger text, some smaller. You get the name of the character, Equala. I think that's pronounced right. You also get his face shown up here, which is also the same for the instructions. And on the back, now that I've opened this, you can see how it's supposed to open. You have, this section is kind of a tearaway, so you just punch a hole through here, and it opens up. All the pieces would fit inside of here. And as you take a look at the back, caution, do not aim at eyes or face. You get the actual size. You see how the set all looks together. The add-ons and weapons for the Speedor, and what other sets to combine it with, so you can make a little, kind of like a course. Because every 3 sets or so for Speedor sets, you can make a small course. Usually starts with jumping through something, jumping into something, and then something else that's running through. Or like this one, I think that's the 3rd. I'm not sure exactly. So there's the box. Pretty simple. It usually can hang on shelves with this hook in most Lego stores or retail stores. Get a kind of a thick instruction manual, and as I said before, you have Equala's face on here. Surprisingly, I don't have, it doesn't say anything about the there's a number, but I thought it said the set name on here too. As you probably know, most instructions start with, you know, how to organize your pieces so you can build it easily and with a lot of fun. Usually I put them in the pile, and that makes it a little bit challenging. It says in here, important, never modify the elements or use other projectiles than provided with this toy. Since this one has a launching missile, that's why it has those warnings. So you see how it's built. And we'll just flip through, see more of it. As you see, it's kind of long because there's a lot of different things to build in this set. The Speedor, the minifigure, and the targets. In the back here, I'm still trying to understand how the Speedor's game works. Maybe I'll do an extra video on it once I figure it out. So if I understand correctly, each person starts with 6 chi. So you set up whatever Speedor set that you want to use to compete with each other you start with 1, 2 chi. And then you try to get the most of whatever that set is. In this case, you try to hit the most targets. And whoever gets the most targets will get to draw first in the card game. So the use of the set is actually minimal. It's about half of the play of the game. So when you draw a card, you have your character card, then you try to add points onto other cards. You try to attack your opponent, and you get the chi. The first person to have 6 pieces of chi wins. It's hard to understand because there's no actual writing, just as there was in Ninjago. So this section has a little bit of writing, which shows you the different points of the card and all different languages. That's why they don't put any in the game instructions. And here we can also see the other Speedor sets. Very simple. Now let's take a look at our extra pieces. There's actually quite a couple. You get 2 translucent blue pieces. One is an axe blade, which is very nice to have. The other is a 1x1. This is usually the chi inside of the Chima figures. This one is a robot arm, which is used in this set for the Raven's legs. It's just a Technic peg that's used for the Speedor. This is used for the stand. This is actually a new piece, if I'm correct, as of 2013. Just standard Technic pieces. And you get another silver beak as the way it's used in this set. As I mentioned before, you get 6 pieces of chi, and you've probably seen what these look like from other reviews, and just in general, they're pretty simple, nice little crystal pieces. I wonder why they don't have so many in the actual LEGO sets, but you get a lot of them in the Speedors if you want them. And now we'll take a look at each of these cards. I'll understand them the best that I can, the way they're supposed to be used. So this is Equala, this is the character card, and it shows all of his stats between the four tribes for now. The plus 30 in the middle has to do with, I think it's if you trade in a piece of chi, you can add more points to one of these. I'm not sure exactly. Here's the back. It's all the same for each of these cards. Next we have Speedor 360. This has to do with the Speedor itself. This is what he calls it. You see it has a little targeting computer on there, and he's fighting the Ravens. So this one can be applied to 3 of the 4 elements. In case you didn't know, there are gorillas, so that's a good hint right off the bat. This is the Axcalion. This has to do with the special Chima weapon that Equala uses. That's why it's translucent blue. And this can be applied to just one of them. I actually don't know what these symbols up here mean. I'll have to look more into it. We have the Jabba, which is the silver spear included in this set. Pretty simple. And this is the Gyro Route. This has to do with the add-on of the propellers, because normally you would have the speeder like this. So the Gyro Route has to do with these propellers you add on to the Speedor. And this can be applied to only 2 of these tribes. And now let's take a look at our minifigure and set. So here is a look at Equala. I am going to remove different parts so you can see all the details more clearly. As you see, he's holding 2 weapons in this set. I don't remember the names, even though I just went over them. The Jabba and Axcalion. I don't think most people are going to remember these names. They're just going to call them something like the Golden Axe or just a spear, you know, like basically what they are. not the fancy Chima name for it as it is on the cards. The wings in this set are new, as are the crest and the helmet. There's a lot of new printing on him as well, so let's take a look. First we'll take off these. You can see the leg printing a little bit better. Very nice how it looks golden. And here's a look at the head up close. I like how they have not only the molding but the coloring in, on the beaks and the even other parts. Here's a look at his face. It is a double-sided face. All Legends of Chima figures have double sides. And this is him, and he's a little angry. He has no goggles. Because most of the eagle figures have goggles when they're flying. Here's a look at the crest, or chest plate, whatever you may call it. I actually don't think it matters. These wings can move back and forth, and they are the same as when you get a raven. They're just a different color then. They're also the same ones in the Arkham Asylum when you have those guards at the gate. Now we'll see his front printing. Very detailed. And the back printing just as well. That's one thing people credit for a lot of these Chima sets. They have a lot of printing, and it's individual. Every character has their own kind of printing. It may seem the same between the chest and the legs for different characters, but most of it is different if you look closely at it. Next up, we'll take a look at Chima Speedor. This is actually made up of 4 different parts. This is one part where you have the wheel and the gears inside that make it turn. Well, when you put the ripcord through, that is. You do have studs on here and holes for pegs. This is where this comes in. This is the main body of the Speedor. If I'm correct, this is the same color in every set. In every Speedor set, it's the same gray color. And it also has a blue wheel. Blue for the chi that is powering it. So there's a look around at that. To fit a Chima character onto here, you remove this, sit them down like they were sitting in a chair, and then you put this on. So you see it covers their legs here, keeps them secure, and they don't fall off. And as I said before, this is the propeller that is used as an add-on. It's not required when using the Speedor, but if you want to, if just for an accessory, that would be nice. You could probably hit other opponents with it more than you could actually ride with it, because it's not that great in riding. So you put it through. And I can't really demonstrate it right here, right now, but once we get it on my Mario Kart track, we'll see how fast this can go. It goes pretty quickly. We'll test it out with the set later. Next up, we have the cannon, or missile, that is used in the set. Pretty simple to build. These actually should be centered. Couple pieces you could probably find and build it yourself. This is printed on there, so that's very nice to have. Basically, the way you use this with the Speedor, you drive it up to it, and hopefully it should give it enough, enough of a push to shoot the missile. It's worked a few times, as far as I know. Or you could just tap it like this. It's a very simple model to build. It's a nice way to set up a cannon I actually don't think these flexible pieces matter too much. I'm just trying to see if they work better this way. I know it's going to keep shooting. It's not that it's really sensitive. It's kind of sensitive, but I just keep pressing near it. So this will probably work better, so that the Speedor can actually ride up to it, and maybe not, because then this isn't actually shooting. So keep it the way before. Always learn from the instructions. You can mod it a little bit. The last model that we built in the target practice set are 3 identical targets, obviously, made in the likeness of ravens. Now, I'm pretty sure, since this is an eagle themed set, these ravens are not made because they like them, but because the eagles and the ravens are pretty good enemies, just like the lions and the crocodiles are. So basically, all 3 of these models are built the same way. The only difference I can see between them would be the colors, the yellow, red, and green on each of the stems. So here's a look around. You get these nice 4x4 blue pieces, a couple stems, and it's a pretty simple design for making the ravens if you want to make your own. As you see, they have that gray beak, because most of them, even if you look on the printing, they have, it's kind of mechanical beak, or even some kind of, not mechanical, but it's not like a natural beak for the ravens. So once again, I actually thought that the 1x6s on here would be 2 1x3 pieces that have like a little bit of a curve, so that, you know, it would look more like a wing and not just a straight line across their back. They also notice they have a tail, and they are movable. You can set them in silly positions if you want. If you're a fan of the eagle tribe, you can really make them silly. Now to set it up, you have the cannon face front. You set up a few of these a little far away from each other. A little further back, you would keep the Speedor, and you would use the whipcord to fly it into the missile, which after it hits the missile, it will shoot these. I'm going to demonstrate it now without using the Speedor, because sometimes it misses with the Speedor itself, but we will try it pretty soon. So if you don't know how these missiles work, you usually push down on them, and with the little spring in here, it releases it, so it will shoot. It's kind of at a point blank range. You don't get much angling with this, even if you have the flexible part. So you can even just hold it up upwards like this, and you can nail them. Alright, so now we'll try it with the Speedor running onto this plate, pressing the cannon, and shooting the targets. Welcome to 13 Hero Time 62's test track. As you can see, we've set up the target practice all ready for testing the Speedor. So down here we have the missile, and a little bit further down the track we have the Speedor all set up. As you can tell, this is Mario Kart Track Expansion Pack. So, I actually like using this. I've used it a couple times with the Speedor, as you've probably seen in the extra videos. So let's take a look at how this set does. Alright, let's try that again. Give it some more speed. You know, one problem I'm seeing, the track's too thin for all these little propellers. We're gonna take those off, because we can. We'll just try it. Oh! nailed one by accident. We'll try that again with just the standard Speedor. Ooh, 2 out of 3. Alright, let's see if we can get all 3 of them. And honestly, I think it's only because, since you have to set them up one next to each other, you can only hit them 2 or 3 out of 3 if it's bouncing off the wall and hits the other one. Alright, so we rammed into one. That's another method. I guess it counts. Try it out for yourself when you play the target practice with your Speedor. So overall, the target practice looks like a really good set. I guess if I were to divide this up into different sections, since Speedors, you know, have different... we could divide it up into different things. The game itself looks pretty good. You could have, you know, one Speedor at a time, try to hit all 3 of the targets. The game that goes after it with the cards, it doesn't seem very great because you just have, you know, which one has bigger points. It's not really based on the Speedors because, again, like in Ninjago, you have them based on who has the better weapons or accessories attached to their spinners, or, you know, sometimes you have the spinners hit cards that activate different things. So there's a bit of, you know, it had interaction between both the set and the cards. This one only has, I mean, for the Speedors in general, only has, you play the game, you figure out who goes first, and then you have just playing with the cards. It's a little bit odd that way, because you want to incorporate the set with the cards, make it more of a game. But if you want just to use that, you know, you get out a competition, see who can get all 3 of the Ravens down. For pieces in the set, it's kind of low on pieces, but you also get some pretty nice ones. Nice to get the propellers, however, they can be tricky to work with. Sometimes they'll just keep hitting the ground. The figure for it is really good. As I mentioned, you got lots of the chi pieces in this set, and I really like this weapon. A little bit different, you know, as far as coloring. The Ravens, the way they were built, looks pretty good. Like I said, it probably should have more of a wing to look on the back, because they're just kind of like lines. You do get, you know, that nice printing for the eagle. So if you want to use this, just even the blaster itself is great. But if you want to just try to take this apart, use it for some kind of eagle model of your own, that would be really cool to add. Because this is probably, right now, one of the cheapest ways you can get this blaster. There have been in tons of sets over the years, but for right now, $15 is the best price for it. Thanks for watching my first Speedors review. We're going to try to review the Boulder Bowling and Ring of Fire very soon. I hope to get it up at some time. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you later. Let me know what other Speedor sets you want to see, because I was thinking about getting the Jungle Gates or the Nest Dive. One of those two, or even the other sets, let me know. Again, we'll see you later.